He was only 21. A popular YouTube star and emerging rapper Lil Peep died last night right before he was set to perform in Tucson.
The aftermath of Lil Peep. Lil Peep, or Gustav, was one of the biggest emo rappers of all time. There's some controversy behind what happened to him and why drugs were such a big part of his life. Let's take a look into what happened with Lil Peep. Peep grew up in Long Beach, New York. Both of his parents were Harvard graduates, so while growing up, Peep had a relatively good life up until high school. His parents divorced and Peep started to feel like an outcast. Gus wanted to drop out of high school and felt like he didn't need to attend anymore. Teachers persuaded him to finish, so he ended up finishing and graduating high school thanks to the help of some good teachers. Gus ended up going to a community college for a semester, and after dropping out of college and focusing on his music, he moved to Skid Row in LA. And that's where he really started to gain a cult following for his style of music. Now maybe you clicked on this video because you know about Lil Peep already, and I just wanted to give a quick brief intro for those of you who clicked it and maybe you don't know who Lil Peep is and you're just more curious to find out about him. I just want to provide a brief intro and then we'll get right into the story. So Lil Peep exploded onto the scene from his Skid Row apartment in LA and paved a new way for emo rap. The SoundCloud rapper would become an idol for those who would relate and feel his style. Peep even made it on the best songs of the year list. It all ended too quickly when the emerging rapper passed away due to a drug overdose on his tour across America. We all knew Peep had an addiction, but we didn't know how bad. One of the most controversial topics and why I wanted to make this video was the assumption that Lil Peep's management were giving him the drugs to help feed his addiction because they are profiting from him. So let me say that again. For those of you who don't know, Lil Peep passed away from a drug overdose. Now, his fans knew that he had this problem. They weren't aware of how bad it was, and they weren't aware that Lil Peep's record label and management were actually giving him drugs. Accordingly, giving him drugs. We don't know for sure. That's what the trial's going on, and everyone's trying to figure out what happened with the management here. So I did some digging and went deeper into it. 3 years since Lil Peep's death, the legal battle over who's responsible for the young rapper's drug overdose is more intense than ever. While Peep's mother alleges that the label set him up with unfair contracts and directly contributed to his death, the label is now countering with their own claims against her. His mother filed a lawsuit in October 2019 against the record company, alleging that the management and record services company pushed her son into asymmetrical joint venture business agreements. Basically, they made him sign things he didn't really know what he was signing, and then they breached the contracts. Apparently, they were actively plying and propping him up with drugs while he was under the supervision of his agents and managers. According to court documents filed in July 2020, Lil Peep expressed that he didn't actually want to perform in the show in El Paso right before he passed away. He was saying how he didn't feel good and didn't want to perform, and the management forced him into performing and giving him more drugs to kind of help him get over this slum. So we don't know if that's true, but it sounds like it could definitely be something that's happening behind the scenes. As Lil Peep's tour date was long and across America was very, very intense. So now the record label and management actually attacked Lil Peep's mother with their own allegations, saying that Lil Peep's mother breached the contract. So the management said Lil Peep's mother acted maliciously with ill will and wrongful improper means to establish a operating and competing merchandise business. So essentially Lil Peep's mother set up a Shopify store, an online store to help sell his merch, and then they take the money from it rather than the management corporate. Now, to me, that seems exactly like the right thing to do. You're his mother, your family, they want to choose how Lil Peep's legacy is shown, not this management. So to me, that sounds completely fair, and the management's just trying to take more money from someone who's already gone. But this is actually quite normal. It's not unusual for an artist's family to be tied up in litigation when the artist passed away, especially if they didn't have a will. There are different bundles of rights that are all packaged differently and can be very time consuming. So that's kind of where we're at right now. There's still ongoing allegations with Lil Peep's death revolving around his family and the management, whether drugs were given to him to help him on his journey, on his tour, and whether or not the family should be able to profit from selling merchandise in his name when the record company and label owns it. So it's a whole mismatch of weird concepts here. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I'm Cameron Explores. Today we looked at Lil Peep, and please leave a comment what you think about what's going on here. Thank you. Until next time. Bye-bye.